Good morning, students. Our today's topic is azeotropic or constant boiling mixture. As we studies, what are azeotropes? Azeotropes are that particular liquid mixtures which have definite composition and which boil like a pure liquid. It means boil like a pure liquid means they boil at a constant temperature. So these type of particular liquid mixtures which have definite composition and boils at a constant temperature are known as azeotropes. These are of two types: minimum boiling azeotropes and maximum boiling azeotropes. So minimum boiling azeotropes, it means minimum boiling point, maximum vapor pressure. Minimum boiling point, maximum vapor pressure, and it means it is only happen in case of positive deviation. And the second one is, if maximum boiling point means maximum boiling azeotropes mean maximum boiling point and minimum vapor pressure. So this happen in the case of negative deviations. So these are the two cases are there. You can see the example. You can see the examples here. When there is a combination of water and ethanol, you can see the composition by weight of B, that is ethanol, is 95.37. You can clearly see the boiling point of A, that is water, is 373, and boiling point of ethanol, that is C2H5OH, is 351.3. Then and the azeotrope made by both of them have boiling point 351.15. These are the examples of positive deviations. You can see here the boiling point of azeotrope is always less than the boiling point of any of the constituent. You can see 351.15 is less than 373 and 351.3. In the second case, you can see boiling point of azeotrope is 350.72, that is less than 373 and 371.19. So for positive deviation, solution showing positive deviations, the boiling point of azeotropes is always less than the pure A and B, and in the solutions showing negative deviation, the boiling point of azeotropes is always higher than any of the two. You can see boiling point of A is 373 and boiling point of B is 188, and the boiling point of azeotrope is higher. So this is clear for showing a solution showing positive deviation, that is minimum boiling azeotropes have minimum boiling point, and maximum boiling azeotropes, that the solution showing negative deviations, have higher boiling point than the two components. Here you can say azeotropic mixture cannot be separated by fractional distillation. It means if you want to concentrate the solution, you can concentrate it up to only one particular limit. You can see here, if you want to concentrate this solution H2 and ethanol, we are adding ethanol, we can add ethanol up to only 95.37 or 95.4% only. So because after that azeotropes is formed. So the mixture containing 95.4% alcohol and 4.6% water is known as rectified spirit. Here the qualitative property. These are the important of this. These are the most important topic of this chapter. From this, every year question is asked from this topic. Qualitative properties. What do you mean by qualitative properties? Qualitative properties are those which depend on the number of moles, in simple words, it is depends on the number of moles. So there are four types of qualitative property: relative lowering of vapor pressure, osmotic pressure, elevation in boiling point, depression in freezing point. We will study these four one by one in the next 3 or 4 lectures. Today we will study only one, that is relative lowering of vapor pressure. You can see here, as we discussed in the vapor pressure of non-volatile solutes, relative lowering of vapor pressure is P0 minus Ps upon P0, is equal to N2 upon N1 plus N2. This is known as relative lowering of vapor pressure, and this is equal to N2 upon N1 plus N2. So to conclude that relative lowering of vapor pressure is a qualitative property, obvious from the formula that P naught minus Ps upon P naught is equal to N2 upon N1 plus N2. These are the number of moles, and this is relative lowering of vapor pressure is directly related to the number of moles. It means this is known as qualitative properties. Now determination of molecular mass. As you know, number of moles is equal to given mass upon molecular mass, and you also know that 1 is always used for solvent, 2 is always used for solute in particular chemistry or chemistry. So you can write number of moles of solute is equal to given mass of solute upon molecular mass of solute, and number of moles of solvent is given to W1 upon M1, that is given mass of solvent upon molar mass of solvent. We put the values of N1 and N2 in the formula. P naught minus Ps upon P naught is equal to N2 upon N1 plus N2. When you put this formula, you get the equation P naught minus Ps upon P naught is equal to W2 upon M2 upon W1 upon M1 plus W2 upon M2. Now we will neglect this W2 upon M2, that is N2, as because if you are taking that very dilute solution, it means the moles of solutes are very less in the solution. If the number of moles of the solute, that is N2, are very less, it means you can neglect it in comparison to N1. So we will delete this, or we will neglect this. So we only come to the point P naught minus Ps upon P naught is equal to N2 upon N1, and we can write P naught minus Ps upon P naught is equal to W2 upon M2 upon W1 upon M1. We neglect this. So from here you can easily calculate M2, because we want to calculate only M2. If you conclude M2 will be equal to W2 M1 upon W1 into P naught upon P naught minus Ps, that it will be reverse on the other side. So this is your calculation of molecular mass. The measurement of relative lowering of vapor pressure. Here you can see there are two jars. In first one is there is a solution, and in second one there is a solvent, and we are passing dry air from this. When we pass dry air from this, then dry air will absorb some vapors of solutions here, and then go to the next container, and then it absorbs some solvent molecules from there, and it again comes out and put it in the calcium chloride solution. So when there is a loss of weight from this bulb or this container is directly proportional to the vapor pressure. If the vapor pressure is high there, then the dry air will absorb more vapors, then there is a more loss. If vapor pressure is low, it means less vapors are there, and it means air absorbs less vapors. So loss of weight directly proportional to the vapor pressure. And in the second jar, loss of weight in the solvent bulb or W2 is directly proportional to vapor pressure of the solvent minus vapor pressure of the solution, because as the air already contains the vapors of the solutions, so it only contains some particles of solvent, so and then comes out. So Ps directly proportional to W1, and P naught minus Ps, that is solvent, vapor pressure of solvent minus vapor pressure of solution, directly proportional to W2. So here you can see value of Ps and P naught minus Ps. Now we conclude the value of, or we count the value of P naught. Ps denotes W1, you can write W1, W2, and here P naught is equal to W1 plus W2. So you find the value of P naught and P naught minus Ps, put in the formula of relative lowering of vapor pressure. P naught minus Ps upon P naught will be equal to W2 upon W1 plus W2. This is the method for measuring the relative lowering of vapor pressure. This method is known as Ostwald-Walker dynamic method or transpiration method. So this is all for today. The numericals of this type you have to do. These are the simple numericals. You have to do all the numericals. That's all for today. Thank you.